Nigeria is a land that has seen many coups and many rulers, many untold stories. From the days of independence, soldiers in khaki uniforms become the faces of power and sometimes the faces of fear. But among them, one name still echoes with mystery, a man both feared and followed, a man whose death shocked the nation and whose story still stirs whispers decades later. His name was General Sani Abacha. Welcome to the History by the Bedside. Abacha was born in the 20th of September 1943 in Kano State, northern Nigeria, the son of a humble Kanuri family. He was quiet, disciplined, and sharp-minded. Young Abacha attended the provincial secondary school in Kano before joining the Nigeria Military College in Kaduna. From the moment he wore uniform, Abacha stood out, methodical, focused, and loyal to the chain of command. He later trained in the United Kingdom and in Monza, the United States, sharpening the skills that will one day make him one of the most powerful people in Nigeria. He played key roles in several coups in Nigeria: the 1983 coup, 1985, and finally 1993 when he seized power after the collapse of the short-lived interim government that followed the cancellation of the June 12 general election. It was in that moment that Nigeria changed course and Abacha became the head of state. Under General Sani Abacha, Nigeria entered what was called the years of fear. He ruled with iron and silence. Critics were jailed. Voices of the oppositions were silenced, and the press moved carefully. Freedom of speech was very, very limited. But even in the shadows of fear, there was order. The economy was steady. The streets were calm. Petrol prices were very cheap, very, very cheap during the reigns of General Sani Abacha. And Naira was very stable. So to some, he was a tyrant. To others, a necessary force, a man who held a restless nation together. He was married to Miriam Abacha, his lifelong partner, and a woman known for her grace and influence. Together they had 7 children, a family that stood at the heart of his private world. Behind closed doors, those who know him describe him as a quiet man. Some say he is very kind. A man of few words, who smiled rarely but meant every single word that comes out of his mouth. But like every ruler, his reign was not forever. It was on June 7th, 1998. Abuja was quiet. It was an unusual quiet night in the capital of Nigeria. Inside the presidential villa, Abacha was said to be in a high spirit. He had attended meeting earlier. One of the meetings including the meeting of dignitaries from Libya. As the story goes on later that night, he retired to his private quarters. What happened next remained one of the Nigerian greatest mysteries. By dawn, words began to spread. Something has happened. Something unthinkable. At first, it was whispers in the corridors of Asorok. Then the whispers becomes panic. General Sani Abacha, Nigerian head of state, was dead. The official statement said he suffered a sudden heart attack. But Nigeria is a country that never stopped asking why. And soon, rumors began to swirl. Some said he was poisoned by an apple. Some said group of Indian women was flown from India to come to Asarok and poison him with apple. Others claimed it was a huge night of celebration in Asarok. The pleasure was so much and it turned deadly. I am not sure what that means. Others said he spent night with two Indian women and that the pleasure he couldn't stand it and he died of heart attack. But still, behind the rumors, behind the gossip, there is no official statement that said this is what killed General Sani Abacha. While some swore it was a divine punishment, that the deeds of what he did has caught up with him. The truth is, no one knows for sure. No one knows what happened. His body was buried quickly, the same day, with no autopsy, with no ceremony. Just a simple prayer and a hurried farewell. Before the world could ask what is going on, Abacha has been buried. And as the rain fell over Kano that day, thousands lined the streets, some weeping, some were relieved, because he was a man that was loved so much in his state. Sani Abacha has been the face of power for 5 long years. In the days that followed, Nigeria changed again. General Salami Abubakar took over, and within a year, he handed power to a civilian president, ending 16 years of near unbroken military rule in Nigeria. For Miriam Abacha, his widow, life moved into quiet shadows. She guarded his legacy fiercely, saying her husband died a clean man, not poisoned, not shamed, but a victim of God's will. His children, too, they lived with the weight of the name, a name both respected and feared. Sani Abacha's story is not one of the light or darkness alone. It is a mirror of Nigerian past. Power, control, and the price of command. He ruled a nation through fear, but he also gave it a structure. He silenced many, yet he left stability that some still remember with strange nostalgia. His death remained a question mark, a riddle whispered through the years. But beyond the rumors and secrets, he was a man that everybody remembered so well. He was a husband, a father, a man who laughed with his children and was loved in his home. In the end, power could not protect him, and death, quite sudden and mysteriously, came for him just as it comes for everyone. So tonight, As you listen to the rain, as you're about to sleep, as you listen to this story, remember General Sani Abacha, the soldier who ruled Nigeria with an iron hand and whose final night still lingers in silence and mystery. He was powerful, he was feared, but above all, he was a human. This was a history by the bedside. Have a good night.